We are over a year in to the disaster that is As Ever, and Meghan Markle is still attempting to sell it with the same failed talking points, but she has decided to make a change and is officially giving up trying to help sell it herself, apparently. And we also have a very defensive response.
Meghan Markle appears to be stepping back from being the main face of her own brand, and that's exactly what caught people's attention this week. A new video posted on the As Ever Instagram account didn't feature the Duchess of Sussex at all. Instead, viewers saw influencer Olivia McDowell sitting at a perfectly styled table, opening a croissant, spreading raspberry preserve, lighting a candle, and sharing the exact same hosting advice Meghan has repeated for over a year.
And has reached out to another influencer to repeat the same bland, banal, pointless, unhelpful talking points, trying to portray this strange brand that seems to have no purpose as being about hosting.
Do not overcomplicate the menu. Engage all the senses with a nice candle. Give your guests a parting gift. Those are the tips. And they're the same ideas Meghan has promoted through interviews, social media posts, Bloomberg appearances, and nearly every piece of As Ever content since the brand launched. But critics argue that the formula hasn't delivered the results many expected. The messaging hasn't generated lasting excitement around the brand, and reports have suggested declining website interest.
This brand is not doing well, and Meghan Markle still cannot fathom why, because instead of changing up her messaging, changing up a lot of aspects of the branding to try and help sell, she just outsources it to somebody else because she's too lazy to run a business.
Instead of introducing a fresh approach, the company appears to have chosen a different person to deliver the same message. That decision has sparked plenty of discussion online, because when a brand hands its core messaging to another influencer while keeping the script almost identical, people naturally start asking questions. Is it a smart expansion strategy? Or is it a sign that the original approach failed to connect with audiences? After months of Meghan personally promoting As Ever, this shift stands out.
So let's listen to this.
Summer is my favorite season for spontaneous hosting, and even on short notice, there are a few tips I always like to keep in mind.
So, number one, so we're going to get tips, and this is Olivia McDowell, and 3 summer hosting tips. And you notice, I feel like it's very soft and like kind of Meghan-ish in the attempt to sell it. But what I notice here as well, when she gives the advice, it's like, none of this is groundbreaking. This is stuff that's already been covered in As Ever.
Olivia McDowell isn't introducing new ideas. She's recreating the same aesthetic, the same tone, and the same lifestyle image that followers have already seen countless times before. The video itself highlights many of the criticisms surrounding the brand. Olivia sits at a beautifully arranged table surrounded by flowers, linen napkins, and carefully positioned products. Everything looks polished, elegant, and perfectly curated. She breaks apart a croissant, spreads preserve with deliberate precision, lights a candle, and recommends sending guests home with hibiscus tea as a thoughtful gift.
Like this raspberry spread, it's one of my favorites and I cannot get enough of it.
Also, this is a party for no one. And she didn't even post it on her full page, which I thought was really strange.
2, I love engaging all of the senses, including smell. So I always light a nice candle, and this one smells of fresh florals and truly turns my home into a garden. I always
light a candle, guys. Make something from scratch and then buy the rest and then light a candle.
Every movement feels intentional, designed for the camera, rather than for a real gathering with family and friends. Even the tone remains unchanged. It's soft, aspirational, and centered around creating an ideal version of hosting that some viewers say feels difficult to relate to.
And it's kind of crazy when you think about it. Because yes, of course, people in the spotlight, podcasters, influencers, they do, of course, have sponsorships with brands and help collaborate with them. But for Meghan Markle, who's tried the same failed talking points for over a year now, for her to hire somebody basically to repeat the same boring talking points, which have not worked and haven't converted, I just can't help but sit there and go, really?
Critics have argued that As Ever often presents a lifestyle that looks beautiful but disconnected from everyday reality. And that's the detail many people keep coming back to. The table is set, the food is prepared, the candles are glowing, everything appears picture perfect, yet no guests ever arrive. For some observers, that image captures the biggest challenge facing the brand, creating an atmosphere people admire while still convincing them they actually want to be part of it.
Really, come on. Don't you have a better idea at this? You have to have a better idea at this point. But Meghan Markle doesn't. And the crazy thing is, Meghan Markle hasn't done really anything close to this. I mean, she's tried a handful of times, but not well. And the thing is, you can outsource additional people to talk about your brand when you yourself are good about talking about and marketing your brand.
The bigger issue critics have pointed to is that As Ever often seems to sell the image of hosting rather than the experience itself. The videos showcase beautifully arranged tables, elegant details, and carefully staged moments. But some viewers have questioned how much of that translates into everyday life. For many consumers, products need to offer more than a polished aesthetic. A candle, a jar of preserve, or a set of hosting tips can certainly be appealing, but brands usually succeed when customers feel a stronger connection to what they're buying.
You look at the analytics, and the analytics just really don't lie here. And Meghan Markle is not being transparent on the sales, although she's not required to be. I'm not saying that she has to, but it's just really, really obvious things aren't selling and things aren't moving, especially when she markets them for a particular time period and she still has leftover inventory.
People purchase products because they solve a problem, fulfill a need, inspire trust, or create genuine excitement. Looking beautiful in a photograph is only part of the equation, and that's where this story takes another turn. Newsweek recently published an analysis discussing website traffic trends related to As Ever, citing data from analytics services that monitor online engagement. According to those reports, traffic patterns throughout 2026 have shown signs of slowing rather than accelerating.
When you market something for a particular time period, let's say Mother's Day, and the products are still available, like here and here, those were for Mother's Day, guys. Those were Mother's Day items, and they're still for sale. This was a limited edition.
That timing has fueled even more debate because it overlaps with some of the brand's biggest promotional efforts. Influencer partnerships, celebrity gifting campaigns, magazine coverage, social media promotions, and public statements all appeared during the same period. Yet despite those efforts, reports suggest the overall momentum hasn't matched expectations. For business observers, that's often the key metric. If marketing activity increases while customer engagement decreases, it naturally raises questions about whether the strategy is connecting with the intended audience. More promotion doesn't always guarantee stronger results.
How are you this bad at this? You have so much money. How are you this crappy at business management?
One example that drew attention involved the brand's Mother's Day campaign. Seasonal promotions are designed around urgency. Customers are encouraged to purchase products for a specific occasion within a limited time frame. However, critics noted that some Mother's Day-themed products remained available after the holiday had passed. While leftover inventory isn't unusual in retail, some commentators interpreted it as a sign that the campaign may not have generated the level of demand the brand had hoped for. Those discussions have only intensified alongside the company's recent rebranding efforts. Businesses rebrand for all kinds of reasons. Sometimes it's because they've expanded and want a fresh identity that reflects their growth.
When your limited edition doesn't sell out in a limited period of time, that's generally a bad sign. If you market something for Christmas, like Meghan Markle did, for let's find it here, because I know it's here, the Hot Hottie and Spice Cider, those are Christmas fall items that failed to sell out.
Other times, companies make changes because they believe a new direction could strengthen their connection with consumers. What has sparked curiosity in this case is the timing. As Ever introduced its rebrand after roughly a year in the market, supporters may view that as adaptability and evolution. Critics, however, see it differently, arguing that such a quick shift could indicate the original strategy wasn't delivering the results expected. Either way, the combination of influencer partnerships, questions surrounding consumer engagement, and an early rebrand has kept As Ever firmly in the spotlight.
Meghan Markle is not good at marketing and talking about As Ever. She's not good at it in the slightest. And it's come to the point where it's basically just totally failing, flailing, and flatlining. I mean, this thing is a mess.
And for a lifestyle brand built on creating aspiration, the challenge now may be proving that the appeal extends beyond the image itself. Critics argue that this doesn't look like the timeline of a brand confidently stepping into a new chapter. Instead, they see it as a business scrambling to regain momentum.
Doesn't look like it's enough at all to actually sell Meghan Markle's products.
While the rebrand was publicly framed as an evolution, some commentators believe the timing suggests something very different. And what has raised even more eyebrows is what happened next. Almost immediately after the rebrand, As Ever appeared to shift part of its messaging to outside influencers. To critics, that sequence of events has fueled speculation that the changes introduced behind the scenes may not have delivered the boost the team was hoping for.
I did the tracking. I did a whole As Ever breakdown. And from what best I could estimate, it would take her 7 years to sell out of her inventory.
Another detail that caught attention this week involved affiliate marketing. ShopMy is a platform that allows influencers to earn commissions by recommending products through personalized links. It's a strategy used by countless lifestyle brands because it encourages creators to promote items they genuinely enjoy while also benefiting financially from successful sales. According to reports discussed by Brittany from Royal News Network, an As Ever affiliate link connected to ShopMy was tested and appeared not to function properly.
Despite Meghan Markle's very defensive claims in Newsweek, nobody is, let's say, betting on her to fail or like desperately wants her to fail. That's not really it. I criticize the brand because it's a bad brand. I am shocked and continue to be absolutely flummoxed.
If accurate, critics argue that this could limit the ability of independent creators to participate in promoting the brand through commission-based partnerships. That matters because affiliate programs can create a wider network of voices discussing products organically. Without a fully functioning system, observers suggest that much of the brand's online promotion may rely more heavily on paid partnerships or gifted collaborations rather than broader creator participation. Then came another number that sparked conversation online.
And it only has 194 reposts, which is a little bit better than she normally gets.
Olivia McDowell's promotional video reportedly received 194 reposts. In a social media landscape where successful influencer campaigns often generate much higher engagement, some commentators viewed that figure as disappointing. Of course, engagement metrics alone don't tell the full story. But in today's digital marketplace, brands closely monitor those numbers because they help determine whether a campaign resonated with audiences or missed the mark. For critics, the bigger concern is that the brand itself hasn't evolved enough.
Give a gift to the people who are coming by. Give a gift to your guests. Groundbreaking. I feel like we've heard this all before. We've heard this 12 times from Meghan. Meghan, you need to actually allow the people you're hiring to figure out how to sell your brand if you can't.
The same products continue to take center stage. The same aesthetic remains in place. The same hosting advice keeps resurfacing. And according to those observers, consumers haven't been given a compelling reason to see As Ever differently than they did months ago. They also argue that opportunities for direct feedback appear limited. Comments on certain platforms have been restricted, and if affiliate systems aren't operating as intended, that reduces additional channels through which consumer interest can be measured. Whether supporters see consistency or critics see stagnation, one thing is clear: As Ever remains under intense scrutiny. And with every new campaign, the pressure grows to prove that the brand can transform curiosity into lasting customer enthusiasm.
It's a thoughtfully set table or simply making time to gather, I believe the little details are what make guests feel welcome. And these treasures from As Ever truly elevate every moment.
According to critics, the only feedback a business ultimately can't ignore is sales performance. And when products fail to generate the expected demand, successful brands usually adapt. They introduce new ideas, adjust their messaging, rethink pricing, or change direction entirely. What has sparked debate around As Ever is the perception that the response has been different. Rather than reinventing the formula, observers argue that the brand has simply placed a new face in front of the same message. The hosting tips haven't changed, the overall aesthetic hasn't shifted, the products remain largely the same. To critics, that's not innovation, it's repetition.
You can hire somebody else to help kind of be another messenger for your brand, but at first, you have to be solid in how you're messaging and being consistent in the messaging and the videos and stuff. The last video we saw of Meghan Markle, guys, I just realized as I was looking through, is her, where is it? Is it here?
Everyone in my family has a
It's
different.
horrible audio talking about her kids and her husband and how they like.
Those same critics point to several factors they believe may have limited the brand's growth. They argue that the product line hasn't created enough excitement, that the premium pricing hasn't been fully justified in consumers' minds, and that the brand identity itself remains somewhat unclear. Others have questioned whether a founder-driven business can thrive when public opinion surrounding its founder remains deeply divided. There's also the issue of scale. Building an entire lifestyle brand around hosting may appeal to a niche audience, but some commentators wonder whether it's broad enough to support long-term commercial success. They argue that the content often feels highly polished and aspirational, but lacks the authenticity modern consumers increasingly value. Then came the response to reports surrounding website traffic. According to critics, the tone of that response was just as revealing as the data itself.
Why isn't Meghan Markle doing this? This is her brand. She needs to be doing this. If she's getting defensive at Newsweek about the success or failure of her brand, why can't she sell it?
Businesses experiencing strong growth often counter skepticism with performance metrics, expansion plans, or evidence of momentum. When the conversation shifts toward disputing criticism rather than highlighting measurable success, it inevitably raises more questions. Supporters of Meghan Markle may see the coverage as unfair or excessively harsh. Critics, however, view the combination of events as difficult to ignore. The reported decline in website engagement, the Mother's Day inventory discussions, the affiliate link concerns, the early rebrand, influencer partnerships, and polling numbers frequently referenced by royal commentators have all become part of the larger narrative surrounding As Ever. For those critics, it's not any single issue that's driving concern. It's the accumulation of them. One disappointing campaign can happen to any business. One negative headline can be dismissed. But when multiple challenges emerge at the same time, people naturally begin wondering whether deeper problems exist behind the scenes.
Meghan hasn't taken that criticism and adjusted. She did a little bit of a rebrand, which we covered last month, but that was more because she was finally more in control and she's like, well, it's not working, so let's do this. When you rebrand, when you restyle, that's usually something that happens maybe after a couple of years to kind of update. She's doing it after a year, which signals to me that things aren't doing well and she's trying to figure out how to sell it.
As Ever was introduced as a major part of Meghan Markle's post-royal professional journey, the brand represented an opportunity to establish a distinct identity in the lifestyle space and demonstrate success beyond royal titles and public appearances. Whether that vision has been realized remains a matter of opinion. Supporters argue that building a business takes time and persistence. Critics contend that the brand has yet to prove it can consistently connect with consumers in a meaningful way. What everyone seems to agree on is this: the next phase matters. Because simply repeating the same message through different voices may not be enough to change the conversation surrounding As Ever's future. Critics argue that changing the messenger won't solve the deeper issues surrounding As Ever because, in their view, the messaging was never the main obstacle. They believe the real challenge lies in whether the products themselves give consumers a compelling reason to buy. After roughly a year in the market, those critics claim the brand still revolves around the same carefully curated image it introduced from the start, the same hosting concept, the same aesthetic, the same product categories. And according to them, consumers haven't been given enough reasons to see the brand in a new light.
Now, guys, I visit As Ever probably about every other day to see what's going on. So I am somebody who is pretty consistently on that website and never ever purchasing it. And that's the thing. There's a lot of journalists, commentators who are on her site, I would tell you right now, more aggressively than people actually purchasing her products.
One detail from Olivia McDowell's promotional video sparked particular interest online. The opening shot focused not on Olivia herself, but on a floral arrangement displayed front and center. To some observers, that creative choice suggested that the atmosphere and aesthetic are being positioned as the true stars of the brand experience. In that interpretation, the person presenting the products becomes interchangeable.
Oh, and see, this is what she did. She got the As Ever stuff as gifts here.
The setting remains the focus. Fresh flowers, soft lighting, elegant table settings, and the promise of effortless entertaining. Critics argue that if any influencer can deliver the exact same message in the exact same environment, it raises questions about what uniquely defines the brand. That's where discussions about long-term sustainability begin. In a crowded lifestyle market, businesses often rely on something distinctive to stand out. It might be groundbreaking products, a highly recognizable founder, exceptional value, or a strong emotional connection with consumers. Without those advantages, maintaining momentum can become increasingly difficult. Some commentators have questioned whether As Ever has established enough differentiation. They argue that similar aesthetics can be found across countless lifestyle accounts online, often featuring products at a range of price points.
When you can hire people who can make you look great and somehow you hire the worst team ever. That's what I'm obsessed with. How can you make the worst business decisions, some of the worst ones I have ever seen?
Others believe Meghan Markle's personal profile remains the brand's greatest asset, while critics contend that public perception surrounding the Duchess creates additional challenges for a founder-led business. Supporters, however, may see the brand's consistency as intentional rather than problematic. Building a recognizable identity often requires repetition and patience. But critics insist that consistency without evolution can lead to stagnation, particularly if consumer enthusiasm begins to cool. What has intensified the debate is the broader context surrounding the brand over recent months. The rebrand, influencer partnerships, affiliate concerns, and reports discussing audience engagement have all contributed to growing scrutiny. For those watching closely, the central question remains the same. Can As Ever successfully evolve beyond its original concept? Because according to critics, replacing the person standing at the table won't change the outcome if consumers still aren't convinced by what's being offered on the table itself.
Now, number one thing I want to point out, guys, is that there's another woman, an influencer, who's there to help sell Meghan's brand. And how does she show the video? Why, flowers that I don't think are in this woman's video at all. And so it's like almost like Meghan is like having her house help sell this brand, but also doesn't want people to see her face.
Every celebrity brand goes through phases, and critics argue that As Ever has already moved beyond its initial honeymoon period. The launch generated headlines, clicks, and curiosity. People wanted to know what Meghan Markle was selling and whether the Duchess of Sussex could successfully build a lifestyle empire on her own. But curiosity only gets customers through the door once. Loyalty is what keeps them coming back, and loyalty depends on whether buyers believe the product is worth purchasing again. Critics point to reviews, unboxing videos, and customer discussions as signs that repeat enthusiasm may not be matching the excitement surrounding the launch. According to those observers, As Ever has entered what could be described as the push stage. This is when brands increase their marketing efforts to maintain momentum after organic interest begins to fade. Influencer partnerships, celebrity gifting campaigns, media placements, and promotional collaborations all become part of the strategy.
As Ever is just objectively bad. It's a bad business. It's a bad premise. It's badly communicated. And it's badly marketed. The imagery is bad. The products themselves, which I've tried a lot of them, they are bad.
Critics argue that's exactly what has been happening. They point to extensive media coverage, celebrity connections, and collaborations such as the Olivia McDowell partnership as evidence that the brand is working harder to capture attention, but paid promotion only goes so far. If customers love what they discover, they'll recommend it to others. If they don't, the marketing cycle becomes increasingly difficult to sustain. That's why discussions surrounding website traffic have attracted so much attention. Critics argue that if engagement declines during a period of heightened promotional activity, it may suggest that initial visits aren't converting into lasting interest. In other words, people may be willing to look once, but not necessarily return. The next phase, according to business commentators, is often the pivot. That's the moment when a company makes significant changes in response to consumer feedback.
I was not anticipating this in the slightest. And I was looking at this going, is this Meghan's assistant when the video first started playing? This is another influencer selling Meghan Markle's brand with literally the exact same talking points.
For As Ever, some believe the recent rebrand represented the first visible sign of that shift. However, critics argue that a true pivot requires more than surface-level adjustments. They point out that many of the brand's signature elements remain unchanged. The same hosting advice, the same visual style, the same polished tablescapes, and the same aspirational tone. From their perspective, changing the person delivering the message without changing the message itself isn't transformation, it's repackaging. Others may disagree and see consistency as a strength. After all, many successful lifestyle brands build recognition through repetition. The debate centers around whether consumers still find that formula compelling enough to keep engaging with it over time. Then comes the question of sustainability. Some analysts describe a stage called contraction, when businesses scale back ambitions to align with actual demand. Critics argue that warning signs can include rapid rebranding, growing reliance on influencer partnerships, operational issues like affiliate concerns, lingering seasonal inventory, and increasingly defensive responses to negative coverage. To be clear, As Ever has not publicly indicated that it has entered such a phase. But for critics, these developments raise questions about what comes next. Will the brand carve out a smaller but sustainable niche audience? Or will it struggle to maintain the level of growth originally envisioned? One thing is certain, the scrutiny isn't going away anytime soon.
And Meghan Markle, if she wants to make this work, if she doesn't want to be defensive to Newsweek about the success or failure of As Ever, make As Ever a success. And the way you do that is by actually working hard, figuring out what works, acknowledging what is not working, which is the talking points. They aren't working, and doing something that does. I'm sorry, but As Ever, all I see is failure.
And as each new campaign unfolds, observers continue searching for clues about whether As Ever is evolving in ways that truly address the concerns surrounding its future. Another detail that critics focused on involved what happened after Olivia McDowell's As Ever collaboration was posted. On her personal social media accounts, she later shared content from what appeared to be a real gathering with guests, food, and products from multiple brands. According to those observers, As Ever products did not appear in that separate content. Critics argue that this highlights the difference between a paid collaboration and a genuine recommendation. Sponsored content is part of an influencer's job, but when creators truly love a product, followers often see it pop up repeatedly in everyday posts, casual stories, and personal recommendations. Today's audiences understand influencer marketing better than ever. People can often tell when someone is promoting a product because they were paid to do so versus sharing something they actually use. Critics argue that this distinction can significantly impact whether viewers decide to purchase a product themselves. Some commentators have also pointed to the engagement surrounding the collaboration. They argue that relatively modest repost numbers may suggest audiences viewed the content as an advertisement rather than an authentic endorsement worth sharing with others. Beyond one campaign, critics believe the larger issue is maintaining momentum. Brands rely on a cycle of visibility, purchases, repeat customers, and word-of-mouth recommendations. If repeat purchases don't happen, businesses may become increasingly dependent on paid promotion just to stay in the public eye. Supporters of Meghan Markle would likely argue that building a successful lifestyle brand takes time. Many companies experience setbacks and periods of adjustment before finding long-term success. From that perspective, As Ever may simply be navigating the growing pains that come with launching a new venture. Critics, however, see a different picture. They point to discussions surrounding website traffic, influencer partnerships, affiliate concerns, unsold seasonal products, and the recent rebrand as signs that the brand faces serious challenges. Ultimately, the debate comes down to one question: can As Ever turn curiosity into genuine customer loyalty? Because according to critics, long-term success depends on more than attention-grabbing campaigns. It requires products that people genuinely enjoy, recommend to friends, and choose to buy again and again.